the best day of your life until tomorrow. If this is your first time watching Millionaires Are Made, this is a show where we believe that you can be a millionaire in all six aspects of health. We do episodes on your physical health, mental health, social health, financial health, intellectual health, and today's episode is going to be on your spiritual health. We're focusing on yoga. Our topic is yoga, and we're going to talk a lot about yoga. Hopefully, maybe not. We never know. This show, if it's your first time watching, is built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet in this world knows something that you don't. And there's something to be learned from everyone here. And so we bring three awesome guests together that love yoga, maybe, and want to talk about yoga, maybe, but they're here to share their thoughts on yoga. And in the spirit of authenticity, we don't talk to them about our beliefs or our thoughts or anything. In fact, I don't even meet or know who is going to be on our show till about a half an hour before the show. And we talk about just the logistics of the show. So their thoughts, their tips, and their conversations will be so real with no bias and no persuasion. It's going to be great. Audience, please feel free to ask questions. We answer them live on air. Send us your comments and questions, and we'll make sure that our guests get to hear them. If you have your own podcast and you need some guests, we have three awesome ones here. Feel free to contact us and we'll get you their information. We'll be sharing all their links too. Make sure you follow and love all of our guests because they are donating their time to help make you grow a little bit today and help me grow, because really this whole show is about me growing. So that's why we do it. Just kidding. If you want to be a guest, please come on in. We know that you got something to share. Let us know what your expertise is. We'll put you on a show. We need lots and lots of guests, and we love hearing from anyone, everywhere, all over the place, whatever it is. Watch this show. Come be a guest. Share your views. Sign up below. Link is being dropped right now, www.millionairesaremade.com. And if there's something going on in your life, and maybe you're struggling, maybe you're a little bit confused, and you need some light to be shed on a topic, let us know. We will actually take your topic. We will go and find three experts or half experts or anyone with advice, and we'll throw a show on your topic. You can plan the entire show, and we'll go do all the work for you. Let us know any topics or any things or theories or anything you're going through or looking towards or want some information on, and we'll go find some people to do that for you. And if you love what we do here, which we already know you do, please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, send stars, whatever it is on the medium that you're watching us. And also make sure you follow all of our guests and our sponsors and connect with them as well to help us keep going and growing. And if you want a little bit more one-on-one time with me, at least, I do interact and have a free coaching growth sessions. You can check those out below. We're dropping the link if you want to have a little one-on-one. I love giving back and talking and teaching. So if you want to grow a little, get some coaching in, or just yell at me, sign up below and we can do that too. In this episode, we have some awesome sponsors to help us keep this going. Our first one is our Lioness Proof Coaching. In a time when mediocrity is running rampant, Lioness Proof Coaching is here to help women up-level their health and unlock their inner lioness to have more energy, vitality, and longevity. By looking at what is holding you back, specifically alcohol, you can eliminate distractions and focus on what matters most in life. And then laziness and excuses are a thing of the past. Check out their link below and go say hi to Lioness Proof for us. Our next sponsor is Colorado specific, but it's the number one law firm in Colorado, specializing in family law and immigration law. Elm Law is dedicated to delivering the highest quality legal representation in Colorado. And the best part is Eric is married to another attorney that's the number two, possibly also number one attorney. So you get as much information, dedication, and compassion as possible. Check out their link below for one of the top law firms in Colorado. Our next sponsor is Healing Vocals. Healing Vocals Artist Management, led by Dr. Mary Anderson, fuses medicine and music to create a global impact. They heal bodies and uplift souls through medical missions and artist support. Super cool, super unique program there. Check them out below. And finally, we have one of our favorites, Ben Thinking About Your Health. Ben offers PPO health insurance with just freedom to choose any doctor. It's ideal for any healthy individuals or businesses that want health insurance that's cost effective, tax deductible, and provides top tier coverage. Check out Ben. He's awesome. He knows more about insurance than anyone I've ever met. Go say hi and save yourself some money and get better coverage. Here's where we want to say a big thank you to our followers on our socials. So for Facebook, we're going to shout out Kenneth Allen Breeze. Thank you so much for following us and loving us. On Instagram, Davidson Hang. We love you so much. TikTok, we got Fitness with Danny. And on YouTube, the Total Freedom Network. Thank you guys so much for following us and helping support our mission to make the world a better place. With that all being said, we are going to bring out our first guest. Let's talk about some yoga. We've got Claire coming out. Claire, quick question. Who are you?
Hi, Austin. Thanks for having me. My name's Claire Dore, and I am a dating and relationship coach. And I am all about intimacy and supporting people in creating the intimacy that they want in their lives and helping them to look at their relationship to everything, because every relationship is a mirror to ourselves. So really helping them to step into their authentic self.
Okay, if I had to improve my spiritual health with yoga, what simple piece of advice would you give me, Claire?
My advice would be to be really intentional with your practice. And so an example of that is I will take my business problem or anything that is going on in my head that I can't work out the answer to. And by dropping into my body, I get to clear that energy and allow clarity to drop in. Mm-hmm.
Tell us more about that.
So essentially, when you move your body, you're moving energy. So, for example, I went to yoga this morning. I do hot pod yoga, and I took like this, I had a lot of fear going on, some fear I was feeling in my body, and I decided to take that to my practice, release the fear into the pod, but also allow myself to receive the clarity to help myself through this problem that I was sitting with.
I love it. I love it. Okay, Claire, where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
I learned to be really intentional with my energy probably from my first coach, to be honest.
Okay. What kind of coach?
Yeah. So he was a mindset coach. I started coaching with him 8 years ago. And I'd say that I've really embodied that intentional practice in the last kind of 3-4 years, really.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome, Claire. Well, we will be moving on to our next guest now, and we will be bringing you back out later to hear more about you and yoga.
Thanks.
Next up, we have Marie. Marie, tell us who you are.
Well, I am a recovering civil rights lawyer who has become a yoga teacher and a certified life coach.
What does recovering attorney mean?
I was practicing civil rights law for 35 years. I have recently retired from that practice so I could focus on my yoga business, which I use to help people get ready to plan and create their dream retirement, and then give them yoga and meditation so we can get their body and mind ready to get there. But recovering, yes, I did civil rights law for 35 years.
And was that like an addiction? You weren't happy with it, or?
I was happy with it, but it takes a lot. The work that you do is 60-hour weeks, and I decided that I want to do more healing work rather than the Band-Aids that we have to put on for law.
Cool. All right. That makes sense. Well, I've got an important question for you. Mm-hmm. If I wanted to improve my spiritual health with yoga, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Well, a tiny piece that I have is based on my being a crazy civil rights lawyer. You just need 15 minutes a day. I used to think that I had to do an hour in order to really get something going. If you have just 15 minutes, that's all you need really to get in touch, to get the spiritual change, to get the feeling in your body, to strengthen your body and find that flexibility. If you have time to do more, fantastic. But don't torture yourself thinking if you can't do it for anything more than, an hour or in that hour, don't do it. Just give yourself those 15 minutes.
15 minutes a day keeps the civil rights attorney away. Got it. Got it. All right. Tell me, where on your life journey did you learn this? You went from civil rights attorney to yoga practitioner. Where was that click? What happened?
Well, over 25 years ago, I went to my first yoga class, and at the end of the class, my mind actually shut down. And if you practice law, your mind never shuts down. You wake up in the middle of the night and you're thinking about stuff. So I had that moment where like everything stopped. So I wanted to basically keep chasing that dragon. That was an incredible experience. But being a busy civil rights attorney, my yoga mat tended to spend more time up against the wall than on the floor. And then my dear husband pulled me aside one day and said, we want to have this great retirement where we travel, we have fun, we do things. And if you keep going the way you're going, then we are just going to be going from doctor's appointment to doctor's appointment to doctor's appointment. And that kind of hit home real hard. And so that's when I learned I just need 15 minutes. I did 15 minutes of yoga and 5 minutes of meditation. I slept better. I was calmer. I was a much better spouse. I was a much better lawyer because I was focused. And I also wasn't so quick to react, so I could be more professional and better in my skill set. And it just felt so good. I decided to go and become a yoga teacher.
Very cool. Awesome. Cool. All right. What kind of civil rights did you practice?
I was a public defender for half of my career, and I did individual incarcerated for folks' rights, or what we used to call prisoners' rights, before we were informed years ago, for the other half of my career.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We are going to move on to our last guest, and we'll bring you out in just a little bit. Hi, Craig. Can you tell me who you are?
Hi, my name is Cray, and I'm from San Francisco, and I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a Reiki master, and a certified life coach and emotional freedom technique practitioner. So I ground restless souls, entrepreneurs, healers, so I can fully align their energy by healing their emotional blockages in connecting with their intuition and emotional alignment.
Very cool. Sounds powerful. I think you're going to be the right person to ask this next question to. If I wanted to improve my spiritual health with yoga, do you have a piece of advice for me?
Yeah, I invite everybody to become aware if you are really tuning into your body, because yoga, I would always see it as one breath per movement. And every month, I intentionally create a practice to take one yoga class by the end of the month by just grounding myself. So it's a space and time to really get into my body. We're all doing and doing, we're all thinking and thinking. So when was the last time that you fully become aware of your breathing pattern, of how this your body feels in a day? Because we store a lot of energy in our body. And when you become in stillness with your breath, with your internal chaos, you become aware and accept the fullest of you. And you enjoy that connection. You become present with it. And you allow yourself to just be still and really reset your nervous system from doing. And just by being, you realign and recenter yourself. Yoga is so simple, like what the previous speakers have said. You can do it once a day, but for me, it's really a quality attention to my body. That's why I intentionally take it every end of the month, because it's a great way to really reflect and reset.
So you do yoga just once a month?
Yes. There's a time when I'm intuitively called to do at the end of the week, where I feel like my nervous system needs to reset. So I intentionally create a stretch over my hips. So our hips holds a
Okay.
lot of stress. Sometimes there are fears, there's a lot of um, uncontrolled emotions. And most of the women, especially, we hold a lot of traumas in our hips. So at the end of the week, I intentionally do hip stretches or yoga stretches just to really open that to feel the expansion and the connection with my root chakra. So, root chakra is our energy center that really helps us to connect with our basic needs. And sometimes when that is imbalanced, things presents itself as fearful thoughts or incessant thoughts that keeps us on a negative loophole of thinking. So by connecting with your body, by becoming present with it, by practicing yoga one breath at a time, you become mindful with your movement. And I actually have this workshop called Energy in Motion, which is movement meets mindfulness, where I incorporate yoga practices in there. It really helps you to be open to dropping into your body and just regulating your nervous system by connecting with it in such an intimate and quality way.
That's awesome. Wow. Okay. Very cool. I
Thank
like
you.
it. Well, yeah. All right. So where did you learn all this?
So I know, like, it's a really quite long journey, and I recovered from an autoimmune disease. I used to have a Graves' disease where my nervous system is completely dysregulated, and I had to go through radiation therapy. With that, became a
Wow.
portal for me to find holistic ways to understand what does my body need. Why have I been going through this chronic illnesses? And one of the perfect practices being mindful with my thoughts. Meditation was a huge catalyst for me to meet yoga. And yoga became my movement meditation. So every time I hold that pose, let's say the warrior pose, it actually strengthens my mind in holding the capacity to receive internal chaos by not being affected with it, by just being in stillness with it. So a powerful practice, especially when you're intentional, when you really create that intensity of quality attention with your body. And yeah, 5 years now being in controlled hormonal state by combining all of these practices. It really, really is a life changing practice.
That's awesome. Great.
Thank you.
Wow. What a great story. Whew. Well, we could talk for like 17 hours, but we do have to move on to the show. So we're gonna bring
Right.
everyone else out and we're gonna discuss each other's tips. So let's go grab Claire and Marie. And let's
Hi.
go, Claire. Quickly refresh what your tip was for us.
So to use your yoga practice in a very intentional way. So for example, I will often take a business problem, or I might take anything that I'm feeling in my body that I want to move and um, leave in the hot pods. So yeah, I like to gain clarity around my practice.
Marie, what are your thoughts on her tip?
Well, I like the idea of being intentional and getting that clarity. It's a step that is worth taking. It's a step that is going to do, as Claire said, help you, relieve fear, help you focus, get the most out of your practice. Really, it's an excellent tip.
And Cray, what are your thoughts on Claire's tip?
I definitely agree with being intentional. I always perceive intentional as intense quality attention. So I love that. I believe in the power of intention, like Dwayne Dyer have said, the quality intention in your life creates quality way of living. So very, very good tip.
Love it. Marie, what can you quickly refresh what your tip was?
Sure, it's if you don't have to do yoga for an extended period. If you just do 15 minutes a day, you're going to get the benefits that your body and mind needs in order to be focused and calm, strong, and flexible.
I love it. I love it. Claire, what are your thoughts on her tip?
I absolutely love that. I am a yogi that just follows her body. So quite often I'm not doing what the yoga teacher is saying. I will tune into what I need, which often means I'm in child pose a lot.
Mhm.
Oh, that's funny. Cray, what are your thoughts on Marie's tip?
I also agree. I feel like 15 minutes is enough, especially when you're an entrepreneur. You have all of this executive functioning. You want 15 minutes of your time for yourself to fill your cup up. So that's perfect. I think it's perfect.
Can you do self-guided yoga?
Yeah.
That's for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very
Cray,
possible
what
to
was
do.
your...
You end.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
Austin.
Marie. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you do yoga enough, you actually can feel what your body needs because you're in touch with yourself, which was the beauty of yoga. So self-guided is very possible.
Cool. Cray, what was your tip?
So for everyone who has busy schedule or who's running multiple roles in their lives and really wanted to create that space, quality space and time to reflect and reset their nervous system, once a month is great. Creating that time to really reflect on the month of how did my body have actually survived this month? Like how did it show up for me? And with one breath per movement allows you to create that quality attention once a month to ground yourselves, to welcome another month to be better. So what worked well for you in the last month? So having that once a month practice and regrounding and resetting your intention, I feel like it's enough. It's the juiciness of it is already enough by just being intentional in that class. And also, I invite everyone to connect with your intuition. Your body knows its best. It's highly intelligent. If you feel called to like do a stretch at the end of the week, it's like really serving you to fill your cup up. I think that's also a great way for you to start off something to reset and realign your centers.
Claire, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I really love what you said there, Cray. And I'm all about like recalibrating our nervous system.
Yeah.
And I think when we can get really grounded in our bodies, we get to really connect with who we are. So yeah, that totally resonates for me. I love it.
Thank you.
Marie, what do you think about Cray's tip?
I like the idea of once a month taking that time to reconnect and do a review. I think that that's an important piece for us in terms of looking at what worked well, what didn't work well, what to change, and doing it while you're taking a breath and doing it during your yoga is not something I ever thought of before, but I love it because it's an opportunity to get in touch with how your body's feeling about it. So
Yeah.
as you're having these thoughts and as you're doing the yoga, your body is going to be like, oh, I remember that moment, and be like, ugh, and you can get rid of the craziness that's in the body, or you can celebrate a moment as your body's remembering it. So I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
So, Cray, do you do yoga any other times, like little mini yogas, or do you just do the one big one at the end of the month?
I do like once a week at times, especially when my full week it requires me to rest. So I always say it's a devotion to rest. And yoga is actually an intentional way for me to rest my body, to like drop into my body and stop the monkey mind thinking. So at the end of the week, I intentionally create hip stretches or do just breathing through the tensed muscles that I have. And I also incorporate Reiki, which is an energy healing throughout the process as I do it on my own. I also have a fitness instructor to curate that with me. So it's a great way to really combine everything. So once I feel full, I feel ready to take charge on another week to really fully give the best of me in the collective.
Awesome. We do have a question from the audience. Yoga and meditation, are they the same thing?
I I would love to say that it can be. I practice walking meditation. And when I go through walking meditation, the whole point of actually yoga for me and meditation is becoming aware and becoming fully present with what is happening in the present moment right now. So when I do yoga, I become aware with my heartbeat. I become aware of how my breathing pattern is. As I hold the pose, what are my thoughts? Like, what is happening? Am I resistant to holding this pose right now? Am I being distracted by the external factors? How can I hold this sense of peace or internal alignment for 1 minute? So it's actually a very meditative state for you to become aware of what is happening in your body, mind, and spirit. It's so intentional and so quality. It's intense because you're so present with your body. So becoming in tune with it is you already meditating. Becoming in tune with your breathing is you already meditating.
I'm already closing my eyes and focusing on my breath right now. So this episode's going to put me to sleep. We have another question from the audience. Any advice for those who want to cultivate gratitude through yoga?
Wow. I love to answer that. I got excited with that question.
Go ahead.
So for me, I used to be an athlete and I know how hard my body have worked. And I am a recovering, Graves' disease patient. So having to be in yoga is me dedicating a loving space and practice for my body. Every time I breathe through my hips, I always say, I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Every time I hold that stretch or that baby pose, I always just say, I'm so appreciative of my inner child. Because with that, I drop into my body. I recognize how hard my nervous system has been working, has been acclimating through every ebbs and flow of our lives. So, yoga practice is such a great way to be grateful for how hard our body has been working 24/7. It doesn't shut down. I mean, even when we go sleep, it's still working. So through yoga, it's a great way to cultivate gratitude by saying thank you to every part of our body, our throat, our back, our legs, our feet. It's just it's a beautiful space to be grateful.
It's funny you mentioned our last episode was on music, and one of our tips was to listen to the music you want to learn overnight because your brain's always working. And then one of the other guests was like, I listen to self-help books and just brainwash myself all night long. I was like, wow, that's crazy. It's crazy. We have another question. I'm going to point this one at Claire. What is the best pose?
Well, that is a personal thing, of course.
Yeah.
My favorite pose, I think, is child's pose because
can you show us?
Probably not right now.
Okay.
But essentially, you're on your knees and you're bowing your head down, your hands forwards or just down by your knees, and like it's good for like your hips. But for me, I just love it because I just get to be in stillness, and as I said, I like to stay in child's pose for as long as my body is desiring. So for me, it's like one of my favorites.
All right, Marie, we've got a question for you too. Can yoga improve your focus at work?
Absolutely, 100%. I can tell you that from experience, because it helps by getting in touch with your body and your breath. You actually are calming your body down. And by calming your body down, you're freeing space so that you can focus more. I think I said it before, I was a much better lawyer after having a regular yoga practice because I could take more in. I wasn't so filled. I wasn't so overflowed. And so I could zone in and focus. So yes, it's one of the best ways to focus.
Awesome. All right, guys, we've gotten to a point in the show where we need to work together here. We have to come up with a daily challenge. It needs to cost $0, take less than 5 minutes, and be available to anyone in the world from Tanzania to Zimbabwe. Thoughts?
I think that one thing we can consider is doing tree pose for those 5 minutes. It's a simple pose. It's one that is going to stretch our hips. It's going to stretch our back. It's going to give us a chance to do some balancing. You can use a chair. There's no There's no rules against using a chair. And
It's that one, right? What do
yeah,
you do with your hands for tree pose?
well, you can either have them in front of your heart,
Oh,
or
that's
you
it.
can reach them up
You stand
like
on one leg, right?
right. And you take, so what you do is you stand on one leg. The way I instruct my students is you take your right foot and make it perpendicular to your left, so your hips are already where they're supposed to be. Then take that foot and touch it either to your left ankle or shin or thigh, but not your knee, because that's going to be a problem. Find your balance. Use your inner thigh of the leg you're standing on, tighten that to help you find your balance. Look at something in front of you, what we call drishti spot in yoga. And then you can either bring your hands here or up overhead. And if you want to hold on to a chair because your balance isn't just there yet, that's perfectly fine. But it's a very big opening, stretching pose. And if you do it on each side once a day, you're going to get a whole lot of benefit.
I think we had an episode last week on stretching for physical health, so this is just going to continue that. Any other thoughts, Claire or Cray, for a daily challenge?
I think actually taking a breath and asking your body, what does it need today? Like, what stretch does it need? What kind of love does it need? Like, and I, just really just tuning into your breath can just drop you into your body and identify what it is your body needs. And it might be you just need to lie on the floor, do nothing. I think that is something I've learned in life, is to do nothing as often as possible, because that's when we grow more and we heal, and the stuff comes up that we need to look at.
Okay, how about this for a challenge? All right, so we have 5 minutes, right? So I like that. Take a breath, right? All three of you said breathing's important, so we'll take a breath. I like asking out loud, so kind of like Claire said, what your body needs. Hey, body, what do you need today? And then I'm going to take yours, Marie, and go one further and say that we learn a new yoga pose every day. Does that seem too challenging? I don't know enough. I think I can do it.
Yeah.
Does that seem too challenging to people?
No. In fact,
Possible.
one of the things I do in my Facebook group is I have demonstrations of every pose so that people can do something like that.
Join her Facebook group, everyone. Join her Facebook group. Cray, does that sound like a good challenge to you?
Yeah, I think everything was said with clarity and so aligned to what I actually was going to share, which is also connecting with your heart. So it's pretty much similar to what Claire has said, to ask what your body needs, to connect with your breathing,
I'll add that.
connect with that pose. And our heart is the center for us to connect with the life force energy. So by focusing on a pose that, let's say the cactus pose, I love that pose sometimes, that when I feel like my chest is just so tight, say someone's feeling anxious, I just open my chest and do the cactus pose and hold still, and the vitality just, yes.
So I'm going to learn 7 new poses in the next week. All right.
Yeah. And it does connect you to the
All
life
right.
force energy.
Oh, I do remember this. One of our guests commented, we had I think it was a social health episode, like maybe confidence, something, and doing the superhero pose before you go out in public for the day.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, one of the poses
right.
that's also good is the lion pose, and it's also
Lion,
good about
okay.
building self-confidence. And you literally like put your hands in a claw and roar, so it clears your lungs too. It's kind of cool.
I like that.
Oh, no. All right, we're going to put this one up. Claire, you have 10 seconds to answer
I
this.
saw. I have a question.
I saw it.
Yes.
So Claire was on one of our past episodes on sex. I think it was mental health sex.
Yes,
that was a
that's
fun
right.
episode. That was a wild episode. I think that's the one that I got proposed to on. So that was a very interesting one. So let's move on. All right, we got our daily challenge. We did our task. Good work, everybody. Take a deep breath and ask your body and your heart what it needs that day, and then do a new pose for at least 30 seconds. If you can do it for a full 5 minutes, fantastic. Or if you want to go back to the previous day's pose and do it for another 30 seconds, it's all up to you what you do at that point. As long as you're learning a new pose and talking to your body, then we'll all be happy and cheer you on. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds like a great plan.
Love it.
Fantastic.
All right, we came, we saw, we did. The daily challenge is there. Thank you all so much for coming. We're going to wrap up this show then. We did our task. Make sure you follow
Thank
all
you
of
for
them.
having us.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching another episode of Millionaires Are Made. Today we talked about our spiritual health and yoga and how it can help you in other aspects of your life as well. We have a sweet daily challenge. Take a breath, talk to your heart, talk to your body, and learn some new yoga. If you have any more questions or want to go more in depth, go follow them, go message them, go talk to them. They are the experts on yoga and spiritual health. If you have any more questions about Millionaires,